The first alarm was subtle, almost polite, a soft pulse on the edge of the orbital defense console. Commander Aria Kael didn't notice it at first. She was focused on the live feed of satellites streaming data from the edge of the solar system. Then the second pulse hit, insistent, shrill, impossible to ignore. "Show me," she ordered, voice calm but edged with steel. Her officers glanced at one another, tension tightening the bridge like a drawn bowstring. The holographic projection expanded above the command console, a fleet of alien ships, sleek and metallic, moving with an unnatural precision. Hundreds of Council vessels, the kind humanity had only seen in decrypted intelligence files. They were heading straight for Earth, faster than any human craft could follow, yet deliberate, calculated, each movement an unmistakable message: annihilation. "Holy, how did they get this close without detection?" Lieutenant Rami Javed muttered, voice low, disbelief cracking the professional mask he wore. Aria's eyes narrowed. "They didn't. Not close, not yet. They've been watching. Waiting." She tapped the display, pulling up the known schematics of each vessel. "All types we've encountered before. But, scaled up. More firepower, more shields. They expect resistance to be primitive." "That's what they think of us," Javed said, almost to himself. "Exactly," Aria replied. A faint, bitter smile tugged at her lips. "Which makes it perfect for a surprise." The Council's arrogance had always been their weakness. Humanity had survived centuries of near-extinction events on Earth, had clawed its way from rudimentary space programs to interstellar probes, and now, for the first time, they had the means to respond, not just react. Kael tapped into the encrypted defense network. Orbital drones powered up, hypervelocity railguns hummed to life, and experimental cloaked interceptors flared into existence, unseen by sensors outside the perimeter. A voice interrupted the tension, brisk and urgent. "Commander Kael, intelligence just confirmed it, Council ships are on a direct trajectory. No diversion, no reconnaissance. They're targeting cities and military hubs directly." Aria straightened. "Good. Let them be precise. Their confidence will be their undoing." Halfway across the galaxy, in the sterile expanse of the Galactic Council's flagship, High Arbiter Selther leaned over his console. His many eyes, one humanly recognizable, others impossible to categorize, scanned the feat of Earth's defenses. "Primitive, chaotic, beneath consideration," he muttered. His voice carried the weight of centuries. "Yet, intriguing." A subordinate tilted its elongated head. "They are accelerating their shields, Arbiter. We expected disorganized panic, not coordinated activation." Selther's claws tapped the console, a slow, deliberate rhythm. "They have learned, but learning is not survival. Send the squadrons. We crush them before they can adapt further. Humanity must not rise." Back on Earth, the first skirmish began silently. One of the Council's reconnaissance ships breached the outer layer of the asteroid belt. It expected an unprepared planet, no resistance, no strategy. Instead, it found itself trapped in a web of electromagnetic pulses, its navigation systems scrambled. Cloaked interceptors sliced through the void, shadowing the alien craft like predators in a forest, unseen and unpredictable. Direct hit on the forward shield. Javed called out. It's imploding." Aria's lips tightened. "Not imploding. Repositioning. Don't underestimate them, Lieutenant. That's how they'll fall." From her station, she watched a small fleet of Earth's orbital drones strike in perfect synchrony. Each move had been calculated down to milliseconds, anticipating the alien maneuvers. The Council had prepared for conventional defense, blasters, missiles, brute force, but humans had invented disruption. Adaptive technology, unpredictable maneuvers, and intuition, things no AI could fully anticipate. "Commander, Council vessels are adjusting," another officer warned. "Let them. They're still blind to what's coming. Track their energy signatures. Find the weak points. Then we hit. Hard." Meanwhile, political channels buzzed. Earth's leaders convened an emergency meeting, viewing the unfolding battle through encrypted feeds. The debate was heated, but Aria's presence shifted the conversation. "They want to intimidate us," she said, voice cutting through the room like a blade. "They think humanity is incapable of coordinated resistance. That's their mistake. We strike now, or we're extinct tomorrow." "Preemptive action?" asked the senator, tension in his voice. "Are we ready to risk everything? Casualties, retaliation?" Aria's gaze was unflinching. "We have no choice. Not anymore. If we wait, they decide the terms. If we act, we decide the battlefield." The council hesitated, then nodded. Humanity's survival demanded courage, ingenuity, and resolve. All three were embodied in this moment, in the silent command bridge where Aria directed a planet's first line of defense against a galactic powerhouse. Back in space, Selther frowned. "They are reacting in patterns, but patterns I did not calculate. Increase reconnaissance." Arbiter, a subordinate warned, "The humans' fleet is minimal, yet their impact, disproportionate. They anticipate every move." Selther's many eyes narrowed. "Disproportionate, yes. This is unexpected." On Earth, Aria noticed the change immediately. Alien attacks were hesitating, faltering, confused by humanity's unexpected resistance. "They're adjusting," she said, a spark of triumph in her voice. "Which means we've caught them off guard. All units, maintain pressure. Do not let them regain composure." The first hour ended in stunned silence across both battlefronts. Earth had survived the initial strike. The Council had lost several ships already. Humanity had demonstrated something no one expected: resilience, intelligence, adaptation. Aria allowed herself a brief exhale. "They think they understand us," she murmured. "They don't even know the half of it." In the shadows of the command center, Javid glanced at her. "You really believe we can win this?" She met his gaze, firm and unyielding. "Not just believe. I know. Humans survive. Humans adapt. And humans fight back." Far away, Selther's expression darkened. For the first time in centuries, he recognized an anomaly in the galaxy, an unpredictable force that could not be catalogued or dismissed. Humanity was awake. And the Council had underestimated them. The morning sky over the orbital command stations of Earth shimmered with a strange luminescence, not from the rising sun, but from the charge of anticipation. Commander Aria Kael stood at the forefront, her eyes scanning the hologrid that displayed every Council vessel still moving toward the planet. Every pulse of energy, every trajectory, was mapped, calculated, and countered. "Status report," she said, voice calm yet sharp, cutting through the controlled chaos of the operations room. Lieutenant Rami Javid responded, "Fleet fully prepped. Cloaked interceptors in position around key Council nodes. Orbital railguns charged. EM pulse arrays online. All units synchronized, Commander." Aria allowed herself the briefest nod. "Then we strike. Timing is everything. Humanity's survival depends on precision and unpredictability, our advantage against their arrogance." At the outer edge of the solar system, the Council fleet shifted imperceptibly, preparing for their calculated assault. High Arbiter Selther's eyes swept the grid, confident yet uneasy. "They've learned some evasive maneuvers," he said, his tone carrying centuries of experience. "But they are still primitive. Their defenses are scattered, their fleets too small. The humans believe chaos is strategy." "Shall we crush them now, Arbiter?" asked the subordinate, elongated limbs tensing. Selther's gaze sharpened. "Patience. Let them reveal themselves. Then we extinguish their flame in a single sweep." The first strike from Earth was not explosive. It was surgical. Interceptors streaked from orbital platforms, invisible to alien sensors, threading between Council vessels like needles through fabric. The first wave disrupted navigation thrusters, sending ships careening into one another with violent precision. Direct hit on the lead cruiser. Javid reported, excitement rising in his voice. They're disoriented. Aria's fingers danced over the console. Good. Focus the secondary pulse on their communication arrays. Isolation will force them to make mistakes. Council vessels began to fire blindly, energy beams slicing empty space, as humans moved unpredictably around them. Railguns from Earth's orbital platforms fired in synchronized volleys, targeting weak points no one outside of humanity would consider. Commander Kael, an officer, interjected, Council capital ships are beginning evasive patterns. They're adapting. Aria's expression remained unshaken. Let them. Every adjustment they make is recorded. Every response teaches us their limits. Keep pushing. The first major engagement was swift and brutal. A Council cruiser attempted to flank a key orbital defense hub near the Pacific Station. Aria anticipated the maneuver. Deploy decoys, she commanded. Clones of energy signatures appeared on sensors, mimicking the real fleet movements. The cruiser, blinded by false targets, collided with its own escorts. Collision at 120 degrees. Cruiser lost. Javid's voice rose above the chaos. Aria allowed herself a brief, grim smile. One down. Many to go. On the command bridge of the Council flagship, Selther's multiple eyes narrowed. Unexpected. Their timing is precise. Alert all squadrons. Adjust offensive patterns. A subordinate hesitated. Arbiter, they anticipate almost every move. It's as if they know our strategies before we make them. Selther's voice was sharp, almost unsteady for the first time. They are human. They adapt. This is irrelevant. Prepare for decisive strike. Back on Earth, the strategic brilliance of humanity was on full display. Orbital drones converged in swarming formations, striking and retreating before Council targeting systems could lock on. Holographic decoys and AI-driven misdirection forced alien vessels into patterns that exposed structural weaknesses. Commander, we're intercepting their primary energy grid, Javid said. Targeting it now could cripple their mainline weapons. Aria's eyes gleamed. Do it. Humanity doesn't just survive, we exploit opportunity. Engage. Energy flares erupted as the first Council capital ship's mainline weapons short-circuited under the precise human assault. One by one, vessels faltered, some tumbling into the void, others forced into defensive maneuvers that left them vulnerable. In the midst of the chaos, dialogue between Aria and her officers revealed humanity's mindset, composed, analytical, and courageous. Casualty reports, she asked, voice steady. Minimal, a communications officer replied. Shields held. Interceptor loss negligible. Aria exhaled softly. Good. Keep pressure. They still believe they control the engagement. They don't. Selther, watching the disarray, grew increasingly frustrated. How are they so coordinated? He demanded. They adapt, Arbiter, the subordinate said cautiously. They predict patterns, but in ways our calculations cannot match. Selther's claws tapped the console, hard. Primitive, yet formidable. Humanity is anomalous. Increase countermeasures. Target their command hub. If we destroy Kael, their entire fleet collapses. Kael, aware of the looming threat to her command center, anticipated Selther's plan. Activate orbital shield reinforcement, she ordered. Deploy shadow drones to the Council's blind zones. They'll never find our command node. As the alien vessels surged toward Earth's core defense satellites, shadow drones struck from unexpected angles, sabotaging their engines and shields. Council ships floundered, caught in a net of technological improvisation and tactical brilliance. Commander, they're retreating. Javid exclaimed. Not yet, Kael corrected. They are recalibrating. They're testing limits, probing our defenses. Let them. Every maneuver teaches us their next step. We remain unpredictable. By mid-engagement, humanity's preemptive strike had become a lesson in efficiency and ingenuity. One of the largest Council vessels, a Dreadnought-class ship, attempted to fire upon a major city. Kael predicted its firing arc, launching a series of electromagnetic pulses combined with hypervelocity projectiles. The alien ship's energy cannon short-circuited, and it spun helplessly into the void, a monument to human precision. The bridge erupted with restrained applause, tempered by the knowledge that the battle was far from over. Aria Kael remained focused. This is just the beginning. They underestimated us. Now they know humans can strike first, and strike effectively. Javid looked at her, awe evident. Commander. I've never seen anything like this. We're not just surviving. We're dominating. Kael's gaze hardened, fierce and unwavering. We are not finished. Not until the threat is neutralized. Humanity will not just endure, we will awaken the galaxy to the fact that we are not to be underestimated. Far across the void, Selther seethed, realization dawning too late. The Council had assumed a primitive species would fold under pressure. Instead, humans had struck first, and the tide of battle had shifted irrevocably. Humanity had taken the first decisive step, a declaration in blazing arcs of light and steel. Earth would not bow, and the galaxy would soon learn that humans were a force of cunning, courage, and indomitable spirit. The horizon of space above Earth burned with the first light of dawn, but the glow was not from the sun. The Council fleet had returned, larger, faster, deadlier. High Arbiter Selther had marshaled every available vessel, intent on crushing humanity once and for all. Their ships moved in deliberate formations, energy signatures blazing like predators surrounding prey. Commander Aria Kael stood on the bridge of the Orbital Command Center, her eyes scanning the hollow grid of approaching Council vessels. Every readout confirmed one truth: this would be the fiercest battle Earth had ever faced. Commander Kael, Lieutenant Rami Javid said, urgency slicing through his usual calm. They're deploying the dreadnoughts in wedge formations. Mainline cannons fully charged. Shields exceeding any prior engagement. Aria's gaze remained unflinching. Let them come. Every ship they bring is an opportunity. Humanity survives by adaptability, by ingenuity, and by courage. That hasn't changed. In the Council flagship, Selther's multiple eyes glimmered with cold calculation. They survived the first wave, but this is the final trial. Target their command center. Leave no survivors. Humanity must not rise. A subordinate hesitated, sensing Selther's rare unease. Arbiter, they are not just defending. Their strike last cycle, it was brilliant, almost premeditated beyond expectation. Selther's claws tapped the console, rhythm deliberate, and sharp. They adapt. They improvise. But humans are fragile. The tide of fire will extinguish them. The first clash began in silence, a deadly calm before the storm. Cloaked interceptors streaked out of orbital hangars, converging on Council vessels. Railgun volleys tore through the vacuum, colliding with alien shields in a series of blinding flashes. Commander, the outer squadron is holding, reported Javid. They're compensating, but it's chaotic for them. Aria's voice was steady, commanding. Chaos is the environment we thrive in. Keep pressure. Split their formation, isolate units, and strike weak points. Do not relent. The Council fleet responded with overwhelming force. Energy beams tore through space, aiming for Earth's orbital platforms. Cities far below braced behind planetary shields, designed to absorb strikes that could level continents. But Aria knew the battle was not just defensive, it was about leverage, precision, and timing. Deploy decoys along the equatorial grid, she ordered. Shadow drones to intercept reinforcements. Focus fire on their lead dreadnought. Hit it where it cannot anticipate. The first Council dreadnought fired blindly, energy beams scorching empty space as decoy drones twisted and blurred the sensors. Hypervelocity projectiles struck at the ship's joints, piercing the armor in calculated strikes. Sparks of energy arced across its hull before the vessel spun violently, losing formation. Dreadnought compromised, Javid called out, disbelief and awe mingled in his voice. They didn't expect this. They never do, Aria replied. Her hands never stopped moving, guiding orbital defenses, striking with foresight. We are humanity. Unpredictable, resilient, unstoppable when cornered. Earth's forces adapted with breathtaking speed. One Council ship attempted a sudden flanking maneuver toward the European orbital hub. Cloaked interceptors appeared from shadowed vectors, striking from above and below simultaneously. The alien vessel's shields faltered under precise coordinated fire, leaving it exposed to railgun volleys from multiple platforms. Explosions lit the void as the ship was torn apart. Commander, casualties are rising in the upper sector, Javid reported. Acceptable losses, Aria said. Focus remains on survival and neutralization of the threat. Every sacrifice strengthens our position. In the heat of battle, Kael's voice carried calm authority, directing her fleet like a maestro conducting a symphony of destruction. Synchronize orbital pulses on my mark, she said. Now. A cascade of energy arcs erupted from Earth's satellites, striking the Council's mainline ships with electromagnetic overloads. Communications cut, weapons offline, and thrusters crippled, Council vessels became vulnerable targets. One by one, they tumbled helplessly into the void, unable to coordinate. Selther's anger erupted. This is impossible. They predict every strike, counter every maneuver. Humanity is anomalous. They should not survive. Aria's mind raced. She knew the Council would attempt a direct assault on her command hub next. Prepare planetary defense matrix, she ordered. Trigger controlled atmospheric storms along predicted entry vectors. Shadow decoys on orbit. We'll make them fight for every inch. Council ships plunged toward Earth's atmosphere, expecting easy destruction. Instead, they encountered magnetically charged plasma storms, energy webs, and sudden orbital obstacles. Every attack was anticipated and countered. Their arrogance had blinded them to human ingenuity. Commander Kael, Javid said, eyes wide, they're retreating, at least partially. Their formation is fractured. They don't know what to do next. Aria allowed herself the smallest of smiles. Exactly. And they never will. The final confrontation was near. Selther himself directed a concentrated strike on the Earth command hub, believing the destruction of Kael's command would end the resistance. Kael anticipated this, however. Cloaked drones intercepted the strike, drawing the alien fire into harmless regions of space, while a hypervelocity railgun volley destroyed the Council flagship's navigation systems. Selther roared in frustration, claws slamming the console. They anticipate. They are unpredictable. Kael, calm amidst chaos, replied over encrypted channels, her voice firm, humans are always unpredictable when survival is on the line. You assumed superiority. That was your mistake. With that, orbital defenses converged on the crippled flagship. Explosions radiated across space, the Council's might collapsing under precision, strategy, and unrelenting human courage. One by one, the remaining vessels retreated, unwilling or unable to engage further. Earth survived. Cities were bruised, orbital platforms battered, but the planet itself remained unscathed. Humanity had endured the storm, not through superior numbers, not through alien tech, but through ingenuity, adaptability, and unity. Kael stood on the bridge, watching the retreating enemy. They thought us weak. They thought us primitive. They underestimated the human spirit. The galaxy will remember today. Javid exhaled, awe mixing with relief. Commander, we did it. Against impossible odds. Kael's eyes swept the horizon, unwavering. No, Lieutenant. We've only begun. Humanity has awakened. And the Council will think twice before ever underestimating us again. Far across the void, Selther's fury and disbelief burned. For the first time, he realized a hard truth: humans were no longer prey. They were predators in their own right, cunning, unpredictable, and unstoppable when united. Humanity had risen, not just to survive, but to assert itself. The Council had underestimated the species that refused to bow. Earth had struck first, and in doing so, declared to the galaxy that humans were a force to be reckoned with. The fiery awakening of Earth had begun, and nothing would ever be the same. The battle had ended, but the war for recognition had only begun. Earth's orbital stations hummed with activity, repairing damage, recalibrating defenses, and tending to the thousands of humans who had been on the front lines. Commander Aria Kael walked through the main operations hub, eyes scanning the activity with careful precision. Each operator, each officer, moved with purpose, an unspoken testament to humanity's resilience. "Commander," Lieutenant Rami Javed said, approaching her with a tablet in hand. "All systems are stable. Shields at full capacity, interceptors repaired, orbital drones operational. We've secured Earth's perimeter. Casualties are minimal considering the scale." Aria nodded, absorbing the report. "Good. But survival isn't enough. We need to ensure the galaxy understands that humanity isn't merely defending, we are asserting ourselves. The Council will recover. They will come again. We must be ready." In the vast corridors of the Council flagship, High Arbiter Selther brooded. The once imposing fleet now limped back into the void, shaken and battered. For the first time in centuries, Selther faced a species whose ingenuity defied calculation. His multiple eyes glimmered with both anger and begrudging respect. "They adapt, Arbiter," his subordinate whispered. "They plan, they anticipate, they innovate. Humanity is exceptional." Selther's voice was a low, almost inaudible hiss. "Exceptional, yes, but primitive. They are dangerous only because we allowed them to be underestimated. Humanity's time has come to the fore, whether we intended it or not." The Council fleet limped through hyperspace, carrying a lesson they would not soon forget. Humanity's strike had shattered assumptions, forcing Selther to reconsider his strategies, his arrogance, and his understanding of the galaxy. Back on Earth, the political councils convened to discuss the aftermath. Leaders, military advisors, and scientists crowded into the largest secure chamber, their attention riveted to the live updates from orbit. The discussion was tense, victory had been achieved, but the implications were enormous. "Commander Kael," said an ambassador, voice tight with concern, "we've proven our strength, yes, but what now? The Council is ancient, vast, and relentless. Can we maintain this advantage?" Aria's expression was calm, commanding. "We do more than survive, we innovate, we anticipate, and we lead. Earth is no longer a backwater planet. We've proven our capability in action. Now we must prove it through presence and diplomacy, backed by the certainty of our strength." Another official spoke, hesitation in their voice. "There are other civilizations watching. If word spreads that humanity is both defiant and capable, it could provoke retaliation, or alliances we cannot yet predict." Aria's gaze swept the room, unwavering. "Let them watch. Let them learn. Humans do not cower. We respond, we adapt, and we endure. Those who underestimate us will do so only once. The galaxy will remember Earth as the planet that struck first and struck effectively." High above the planet, Aria Kael returned to the command bridge. Her attention shifted from repair protocols to long-term strategy. Humanity had survived the first confrontation, but complacency was impossible. The galaxy was vast, filled with civilizations whose capabilities dwarfed Earth in size and scope. Yet Earth had something they lacked: human unpredictability, ingenuity, and unity in adversity. "Lieutenant," she said, voice steady, "begin simulations for future engagement scenarios. Every possible variable. Every strategy the Council, or any other species, could attempt. We prepare not just to survive, but to dominate in defense and diplomacy. Javid nodded, awe and exhaustion mingling in his expression. Yes, Commander. Humanity has truly awakened. I've never seen anything like this. Aria allowed herself a brief, rare smile. This is only the beginning, Rami. Humanity is capable of more than they, or anyone, can imagine. And we will prove it every day, across every frontier. In the aftermath, the first interstellar communiques arrived. Other civilizations, previously indifferent or hostile to humanity, sent envoys and emissaries. Curiosity, fear, and respect radiated through every transmission. Earth's status had shifted overnight, from a peripheral species to a critical player in galactic affairs. One message arrived from the neutral systems of the Zareth cluster. Humanity has demonstrated remarkable initiative and tactical mastery. We seek dialogue to understand this emergent power. Cooperation may prove mutually beneficial. Aria read the message aloud, voice steady. Notice the subtle acknowledgement, they recognize potential. Our actions have rewritten expectations. Every move from this point forward must reinforce that lesson, humans are not to be underestimated. Javid shook his head in wonder. A single battle, and the galaxy's perception shifts. That's incredible. Aria's gaze returned to the hollow grid of Earth's orbit. Incredible, yes. But it's only possible because humans act decisively, unpredictably, and in unity. Never forget that. Our strength is not just in technology, it is in ingenuity, courage, and resilience. That is what the Council, and every species watching, must now fear and respect. While the planet celebrated, Aria Kael continued her work, overseeing orbital patrols, planetary defenses, and diplomatic protocols. Every system was optimized, every contingency considered. Humanity had faced near extinction and had emerged stronger, wiser, and more determined than ever. Commander Kael, Javid said, approaching the observation deck, do you ever wonder if the galaxy can handle a species like us? Aria's eyes glimmered with quiet certainty. The galaxy doesn't have to handle us. It has to recognize us. And it will, through respect, through fear, and through acknowledgement of human ingenuity. We have awakened, Rami. And there is no turning back. In the distance, Council scouts observed Earth from the far reaches of the system, their reports filled with both confusion and caution. Humanity had shattered every expectation, demonstrating a capacity for strategy, innovation, and unity that no algorithm, weapon, or prediction could fully anticipate. Selther's arrogance had blinded him, and now he faced a humbling realization: humans were not a species to be dismissed or controlled. Humanity had not only survived the Council's onslaught, they had awakened, asserting themselves as an unpredictable, unstoppable force. The fiery brilliance of Earth's response had illuminated the galaxy with a stark warning: underestimate humans at your peril. And on Earth, the planet that had once seemed insignificant now radiated potential and promise. Aria Kael stood atop the command center, looking out at the stars. She whispered to herself, voice soft but resolute. We are humanity. We endure. We adapt. And we rise, always. The galaxy had witnessed the awakening. Earth had taken its place among the stars, not as a pawn, but as a force to be reckoned with.